push it some more. A la 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 la. A la 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 la. Hey. A la 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 la. A la 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 la. Push it some more. A la 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 la. A la 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 la. All right. A la 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 la. A la 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 la. Push it some more.
All right, all right. It's 6:34. It's January 23rd. I hope everyone's feeling good. It's Friday. I promised you guys I would be doing a Friday here and there in 2026. So I think this is my third one in January. Mentioned if you guys join the Red Dog Mindset, where you can get to do the 25-20, which is the Wall Street workout, get your mind right, get situated, that we could then come in and do the 6:30 club, where I go over the X's and O's, go over the keys to the day, go over some actionable areas, some things that I'm doing. And here we are on a Friday. Hope everyone's feeling good, having a good week. It's been a little crazy week, right? You know, from the Greenland thing on Tuesday to the framework. And here we are, 4 days later, and the market held in pretty well. How did you do? Look in the mirror and say, hey, I had a great trading week. I had a bad trading week. Give yourself a grade, I'd say I give myself a B, B to B plus. But anyway, my name is Scott Redler. I'm the Chief Strategic Officer of T3Live.com, founder of Red Dog Mindset. I'm doing a 2 o'clock StreamYard with David Prince, the one and the only. We both have rooms here at T3, different types of room, but very similar. The two of us, have a, we were actually together in a room for about 10 years. And then he was doing so well and giving out so much great information. He's like, let me have my own room. I'm like, damn it. I love this stuff. So it'll be good to hang out with him a little bit and go over some things on what we're doing. So if you guys want to tune in later at 2 o'clock, great. And I'm also having an open house next week. What does that mean? That means you guys get to come in, try out the Alpha team for free. It means I have to work a lot harder. No, I'm kidding. But I will be at my seat a lot more next week, Monday through Thursday. And then I'm going to go to Market Rebellion and speak with the Nigerian brothers on Friday in Miami at the Ritz. So I got some busy stuff besides the snowstorm coming in. Anyway, how you doing? Happy Friday, Jeff. What up, Tim? What up, Vincent? We got Nandi in the house. We got Ken. Yes, right now, NVIDIA is on the move. There is some chatter that their chip is going to be accepted in China. China! No, here it is. It's up 3 and change. 189 is a big resistance spot. So, we'll see how it handles that. The semis have been acting better. What a quinky dink. Right when Intel is down 6, money rotates back to NVIDIA. That's what the market's been doing. It's been rotating, rotate. But anyway, before we get into that, this was your gap down on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, if you remember at the 6:30 club, I'm like, you could buy versus the prior day's low, and you had a nice little move. And then all of a sudden, not an inside day, but a decent day yesterday where we held and it took back the moving averages. And now the Qs, what are the Qs doing? The Qs are down 4 cents. So we're right in here. So the range continues. But the action is very specific. What does that mean? That means you have to be in the right place at the right time, or accumulate, or not make money. But anyway, so the Qs look pretty good, hanging in there. The SPYs also look similar. What do I mean? Well, you had your gap down below the 50-day. Looked like maybe there would be a hole in the bucket. Remember that when you were a kid, a hole in the bucket, dear Liza. But anyway, it wasn't, because guess what happened? The market proved the active bears had no power, so it actually filled the gap, showing that was meaningless. And now you have 686.92. We're open in the middle of the range, still in the same range we've been in pretty much for almost 4 months, and it looks like we might actually break out of this at some point. Anyway, let's go back to NVIDIA for a second. I am not in NVIDIA. Someone's like, Red, why aren't you in NVIDIA, you jerk? I'm like, I'm not a jerk. I just wasn't in NVIDIA. I apologize. But anyway, it looks pretty good. You still have this range. It's been in this range. So since December 23rd, it's January 23rd. So for a month, it's been going sideways. And now it's above this little spot. Maybe it'll be NVIDIA time. Maybe NVIDIA will be something you could stay with a little bit better than, some other names for now. So we'll see. Scott, I mentioned RDW yesterday after Trump reported some golden dumb information. What a day. I agree. By the way, Sam, RDW, I've been pounding the table here at the 630 club, pound, 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 and it's been my biggest position. So Stephen, Sam, I appreciate that. Is there news this morning? Because not so bad. So RDW is up 6%. Kachingo, you've been tuning into the 630 club for free since 2020, or maybe you're a Red Dog Mindset subscriber now, so you'll never lose it. But for the past month, I've been telling you I am accumulating RDW. Accumulating. We started accumulating it here, and we have it as a pretty nice, actually, power play. So if you've been accumulating this, congratulations. It is now above 1240. So that's great. 1270, trim and trail. And I would think now that it's above all the moving averages, it's got some room towards 16-ish, right? It was at 20 and 22, is even higher than that last year. Wow. So this name that not a lot of people know, but you know it if you've been with the Red Dog. Anybody? What's it called? Hanging in here with what's it called? RDW. Well, anyway, it's looking great. I would manage it. I think today could be 15 and change, etc. I still think you could be a big buyer of Joby. Joby is one of my bigger positions too. It's not on the move. It's not on the move yet, but you could accumulate it before. So I am buying Joby. I will probably add to it today. It looks great. There's I think 2 or 3 different conferences right now. There's something going on in New York City today where they're going to be showing not Joby, which is Joby Aviation, but some other company, drones where, we can get in there and you could fly, and in 2 years, they think in Manhattan and everywhere else, you can have your own little helicopter type drone. But anyway, at some point, I do think this is going to get going and you want to accumulate it. Accumulate now. So when it has momentum, you could play it higher. Same thing. I bought a lot of ACHR. This also is hanging it here. It's trying to get above the 200-day, trying. So if it does, remember we played this last year, went to 14. I do think that, both of these can be an accumulate and you can make some good money. So if you want to, if you think Red Dog's throwing you a bone, yeah, Red Dog's my name. I'm throwing you a bone. Maybe you have a dog in your house. Anyway, but so far so good. I'm glad that you bought more RDW. Not everything could be, ASTS or at Rocket Labs, but guess what? ASTS still looks really good. Look at that. High level area. Wow, we got loose and wide. A lot of guys bought the dip, bought the 8-day, made some really good money. Maybe some inside action, and this takes out 121. I bought options on the dip yesterday in RKLB. Why? Because I was figured, hey, I know that something blew up, but they said that they had to test the rockets, pressure to see where the blow point is. So they did it on purpose. So people, the short, started to talk about how, Rocket Labs rockets are blowing up. It's not true. You could do your homework. But anyway, I did buy into the 21-day. First time I had tested the 21-day. I bought a lot of options. It was a good trade in the hole. Not a momentum trade like we had here. Remember, we played it from momentum through 79.80, went to 99. Well, I bought the dip. 2 different ways to do it. Yes. And guess what Red Dog made money in yesterday for the first time in a long time? Tesla. First time since the breakout failure at 495 that I make really good money. And I'm happy about it. Thank you, Elon. You know what? Remember this move here where it looked like it was going to go to 500. It looked like we were going to have so much fun in December with Tesla. And it said no. Well, that was here, 495, went to 490 and failed. We had one little trade here. Remember that Red Dog reversal? That was like a nice little tactical trade here at 424, if you remember. It wasn't so bad. And then it failed. And then, this little day yesterday or 2 days ago showed me that, hey, maybe Tesla has some power again. So anyway, yesterday, in the first 20 minutes of the day, I bought options and I bought stock. And look at this nice little move. Now trying to take back some moving averages. So, hey, maybe this starts better action, right? Maybe it starts to trade better into this void. It's a big maybe. But for now, they can't take my money away from yesterday because I used my tier system. I bought in the morning and then the options went. And I trimmed it. I actually was getting a haircut yesterday. I'm like, oh, look at Tesla. I'm like, I texted Trade Desk. I'm like, offer some Tesla also. And my guy's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm trading stocks. Like, you remember the commercial? I'm on the beach trading stocks. Well, I was in my, in my haircut chair, and it was good. But anyway, we'll see if this can continue. This was a nice 2-day move. Sometimes 2-day moves can make your entire month. But anyway, So that's something different. Some guys made a lot of money with Meta. I did not. I missed Meta, but this was a nice 2-day move also. What's Meta doing today? Let's see. What's Meta doing today? Meta is down to $3. Okay, so where if you want to look at the intraday chart, which is what I like to do sometimes to see where you have some of the range from yesterday. I would say if you think you want to buy a dip in Meta, maybe you could buy it right here. So you go to this chart, draw your little line. Where's my line? Let's get a line here. Let's get a ray. Right, this is 640-ish. Anyway, oops, that's Intel. We don't want to play Intel today. There's Meta. Meta's right now at 644. So if you want to buy a dip, maybe there. Nice 2-day move. Remember I'm like here, it takes back the 8-day, and well, it took back another level. So maybe Meta's getting better. Then if you want to draw this downtrend line, where does that? This has got some room. Maybe you could take this across. But anyway, it was nice to see that some guys were able to make some money in Meta. You had a decent day where it took back that Tuesday. So if you went with Meta, you went with Meta. I didn't do it. Anyway, it's because Elon announced unassisted robotaxi in Austin. Okay, well, somebody knew something. All right, so some people are asking about QS. QS, the candle wasn't great, but if you bought it on Tuesday and you added on Wednesday and sold them into strength Thursday, you're able to buy a dip. I did buy some back. This was like a 15-20% move. So anyway, I'm still there, but I am managing it, so not so bad. Anywho, what else? What else we got going on today? Let's see. Somebody asked me about Amazon. Amazon still is kind of a pain in the ass, excuse my French, but at least you had a day and a half move. Remember this red dog reversal? Red dog reversal. What's a red dog reversal? You have two of them. Look at this. You have bookend red dog reversal. I'm going to do a little lesson right now. Let's all get your pens and paper out. What's a red dog reversal? Red dog reversal is when you push through a prior high, and then it comes back below, and you could short it. And usually it squeezes some leftover shorts. It baits some people in, and then it reverses, and it becomes a fast move. So you had a red dog reversal up here, where it went above. What was this? 247.80. This high here was what? 247.86. Went as high as 248 something or other. I don't know why this. This is the wrong. Anyway, this was a red dog reversal top, and then you had your follow through below the low, and then look down here. Went below 220. Why is all these levels wrong? 229. Okay, 229.34, and took it back. Okay, and then gave you a little bit of follow through. Why is this wrong? Somebody playing with me. 229, the 229 something or other. Anyway, that's a lot of people program some of their computers this way. So this got above 247.86, 247.86 and reversed, 247.86 and reversed, and then started a downward move. So from 247 down, if you get out of the way here, okay, then you tried it here at 229-ish. Okay, so that's about 37, almost 18 points lower, and then you had a little bit of a move. Anyway, damn, your nose is running again. My nose is not running. You hear that? No. Who's this? John Holmes? Where's Raish? Anyway, Iron. Okay, let's see what that's doing. It's just hanging in here. I bought a little bit of options. I rolled them out. I've been playing this name again since probably around 38-ish, and sold it into 57. So yesterday I started to buy a little bit of options again, thinking that this move is not done. It's going to take out 57 at some point. So sometimes if you think it's a pullback is viable, I buy some options, and then when the stock actually acts better, I go after the stock also. So the alpha team knows if I'm in the stock and I'm in the option, that means my concept turned into a play, and you better focus on it and go with it also. Right, big ass? Anyway, I don't need help on about help. What are you talking about? Oh, the symbol help? That was the microdosing stock. Ooh, look at that. It's getting Simon. It's getting a little tight here. Yeah, it's, I wouldn't hyper focus on this, but I do think this is going to have a good year. Same thing with MSOS. For those of you who are in it, I am in it, and I am rolling out into options for March. I am buying a ton of $6 and $7 calls for March. Now that Greenland is out of the way, somewhat, there's a framework. Maybe the president will refocus on the cannabis sector and start ranting about that in the next week. And if he does, you want to have some MSOS on. But you don't want to focus on it. It just needs to be a position within all your positions. Anyway, Netflix sucks. Excuse my French. Anyway, it did make a low. If you were long Netflix because it made a low post earnings in your strategies, I want to be long verse 81.95. That's your strategy. It breaks out, you get the hell out of the way. If it doesn't, hey, maybe 38% off the highs is something. What's it doing today? Netflix is up 2 cents. Oh, a lot of money there. No, not at all. But anyway, I did try and buy a little bit of options thinking, hey, maybe it takes this out and gets a bounce, but I'm not hyper focused there. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, listen, guys, it's 6:49. We'll see what happens here. It'd be nice to see if the SPYs could have an inside day-ish, where it holds above yesterday's low, goes sideways, shows some mid-level commitment. It's a Friday. Hopefully you make some money on a Friday. It's always good to make some money going into a long weekend. So I'm going to try and do that also. 686 right here, hold above it would be cool. Right now the SPYs are what? The SPYs are down 60 cents, not a big deal. Qs are down 60 cents, not a big deal. And, manage your positions, know what you can handle. Hopefully you're making some money. It's January 23rd. It's 2026. Are you keeping promises to yourself? Are you following your New Year's resolutions you put on 3 weeks ago? Or did you already screw them up? Are you complaining about the action? Are you complaining about Trump? Are you complaining about whatever it is you're complaining about? Guess what? Nobody wants to hear you. So if you're complaining way too much, look at yourself in the mirror. There's probably something wrong with what you're doing. It's not something wrong with the environment. Control what you can control. Get your prep done. Get your chart working. Use your tier system. Use your sell rules and move your feet. Anyway, it's Friday. I appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in. Tune in at 2 o'clock. Myself and Dave Prince will be doing a StreamYard together to go over what we've been doing and what we're looking at in the weeks ahead. And then I have my open house. Thanks for tuning in. Listen, guys, if you're in the Northeast, there's a big snowstorm coming. Test out your generators today. Test out your generators. I'm going to go home at lunchtime, test out my generator just in case I lose electricity. I want to make sure I could plug my phone in and, do all those things that you want to do when the electricity's out. All right, guys. See you later.